back-to-back losses to the Ticats.
You couldn't ask for a better opponent. I mean, if you've lost 2 in a row, who would you want to play?
Yes, the 0-7 Bombers.
And it's not going to get easier. You know, people say to me, how can they play better? What can they do? The longer you go with that goose egg, the tougher it gets.
You ever have anything like that? 0-7?
No.
Not that you'll admit.
I can't even know. I don't remember if we did.
Steve Smith takes the kickoff from Paula's ball to the 22-yard line. Smith looking for a seam is tripped up as he gets to the 45-yard line. Dan Tronick got a piece of him as Kerwin Bell and the Toronto offense take the field. A lot of people in Toronto were skeptical when Bell was signed in the offseason by the Argos. They felt that he was second best. In fact, the Argos were hoping to get Danny McManus. You were one of those skeptics.
I was a skeptic to some degree, but I'll tell you what, I watched him in the preseason game when he suffered the broken arm, and it was against the Montreal Alouettes. He played superbly, and, I said, hey, he's going to help this team, and he's come back and has been terrific. He hasn't had the point production, but he sure has moved this football club.
On first down, Bell has all day throwing over the middle. He's got Nigel Williams wide open. Williams inside the 30, runs into Rob Hitchcock down to the 24-yard line. Another big gain for Nigel Williams. This time he picks up 43 yards.
And he has such a great stride. I mean, he simply ran away from Gerald Vaughn. You're going to see him come into the middle of your screen. Look, those last few strides, he accelerated away from Vaughn. A perfect throw by Kerwin Bell, but the protection again, absolutely superb. Look at this. Time to wait, step up, throw off your front foot, and when a quarterback of Bell's caliber gets that kind of time to throw, you're going to have success. The last 3 series, they've moved the football, and much to the delight of John Jenkins, their offensive coordinator, they are picking apart a great Hamilton defense.
Nigel Williams has 2 catches in the game for 94 yards. First down, Bell. Under pressure, he is dropped by Joe Monfort. The ball comes loose. But I believe they will rule Kerwin Bell down on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and long for the Argos, and Bell's mobility is a big factor in all those sacks the Argos allow.
Here's Monfort up top, and there's his old buddy, a teammate from a year ago, Dwayne Morgan, and already it's clear in this first half that Monfort's speed is far too much for Morgan. Second time he's blown around Morgan quite easily. This time he gets the sack. Last time he got a great pressure, and only some tremendous athletic ability by Bell got away, but the sack by Monfort, another big defensive play, and they need more of those.
Flags are down, and in fact the play was not begun in time. Jake Ireland with the call, and procedure goes against the Argonauts. 13-3, Toronto leads. Remember last year, the Labor Day Classic?
Procedure, Toronto number 56, still 2nd down.
Hamilton scored the first 3 points of that football game. The Argos got the next 46.
It wasn't pretty.
It was nasty.
You're a Hamilton fan.
And many of the Ticats and their fans talking about that this week, that if their team was able to get Toronto down, not to let up. Right now, they're the ones who are down. 2nd and a bundle. Bell dumps it off for Mazzotti, who gets back close to the original line of scrimmage. Calvin Tiggle makes the stop. Mazzotti with the grab, but it'll be 3rd and 12 for the Argos as the field goal unit comes on the field.
But again, Gord, the big play to Nigel Williams, and once again Toronto has put themselves in a position to score some points based off the offensive yardage that they're accumulating, and obviously as we get another look, in behind John Jenkins is Darrell K. Smith, one of the all-time great receivers with the Argonauts, and has been a great help to Daryl Mitchell, among others, and Nigel Williams. He was a great slot back, and sure got a lot of tricks he can teach these guys.
Eric B goes now from the 32-yard line, is perfect as an Argo so far. Flags all over the place. The field goal was good, but the whistle had gone before the kick was made.
Procedure, Toronto, still 3rd down.
So Bigos gets to try it over again from 5 yards back.
Well, we talked in the opening about, mental mistakes were really preventing Toronto from scoring some points in the last few games. There's another one, and I hope it doesn't haunt them.
Last time I saw a football helmet like that, I was eating ice cream out of it.
That is a bad face mask.
Now from the 37. Mazzotti the holder. Bigos puts it up, and it is still good. He's perfect in his CFL career so far, but wait, there's another flag down, holding again. Now that's a 10-yard penalty. Now Matthews might have to think about punting.
Holding. Toronto number 68. Still third down.
This started off as a 32-yard attempt, and now it's going to be a 47-yard try.
Well, 68 is Steven Salter, and Joe Montford with a real good effort up the middle, and Salter had to hold him or he might have blocked it.
They're going to wear the kid out. From 47. Still good.
They can't phase him.
He's just kicked for 100 yards. Take it back some more, he says. Argos lead by 13. Eric Begos has 2 wiped out by penalty, but finally puts the field goal through with more from the sidelines. David Amber.
Eric Begos, yeah, an incredible pickup. Gord Leaf, 5 for 5. They picked him up 2 weeks ago out of Waterloo. The rookies impressed. Noel Prefontaine struggled. They thought he was going to do both the place kicking and the punting, but right now clearly Begos is their go-to guy for the field goals.
Well, look at that. And you throw in the 2 more he made on penalties. 7 for 7.
He's unflappable.
He is. He's just got a bad face mask.
Well, we can work on that. And you know what? He can wear a clown mask right now. If he keeps making them, Don Matthews will keep putting them out.
Well, I mean, he made the one from 47, and he had lots of room to spare as well.
Ticats now down 13, start at their 35-yard line, and another pass from McManus sails over the target.
Well, he's really had struggle tonight with overthrowing receivers. Danny McManus has cost him an interception that Lester Smith picked off, and again right now overthrowing Darren Flutie right here. I mean, this wasn't even close, and I don't know what it is. Danny McManus has been a pretty consistent quarterback throughout his career, but he's overthrown the short ones and underthrown the long ones. He's 4 of 13, and that won't get it done against a defense like Toronto.
Under 5 minutes to go now in the first half. McManus, look out! Gets it away, incomplete for Darren Flutie, who is again well covered. Another 2 and out for the Ticats, who will be forced to punt.
Yeah, and Toronto's really mixing up their defenses. They're mixing up when they only bring 3 people. They get Hamilton in second and long here. They give them a different look with Kelly Wilshire coming on the blitz from the outside. Here's Wilshire. There's nobody to pick him up. McManus can feel him coming, and again, he has to deliver it under pressure. But the recognition that Danny McManus is always so good at, I think he's struggling with tonight because Toronto's just giving him a lot of different looks.
6 2 and out so far for the Ticats in this first half as Balderston goes back to punt again. It's a good kick away. Steve Smith chased back to his 31-yard line. Smith again with a good run. Here he goes up the sideline. He's got the kicker to beat, and Balderston sticks him at the 40. But it's another big return for the Toronto rookie. Steve Smith with a run back of 40 yards on the 41-yard punt.
Well, Gord, you mentioned earlier Toronto leading the league in punt return yardage, and this is why they work so hard to get the good block at the initial point of attack right there. And then Steve Smith, who's been inserted into the lineup tonight just for this reason, to return punts, take a little bit of the load off from Pinball Clements. And that is a great return. Lester Smith had a good return earlier, and you know, for all intents and purposes, the Toronto offense has been playing on a pretty short field tonight.
Excellent field position here at the Hamilton 40-yard line. Bell shovels it off in a very dangerous play as he throws it underneath for Darryl Mitchell. Kind of the reverse option there, and not much doing.
Yeah, and this is a great play by Joe Montford. What you try to do is isolate him as the quarterback. Here's Montford. Watch him come across. Usually what you try and do is either if he commits to the quarterback, you pitch it. If he commits to the pitch man, you run it. Well, he stays right in the middle. Bell has no choice, really doesn't know what to do with it. By the time he pitches it, Montford's there to make a play, and not only is he the premier rush end in the league right now, he can play the run as well.
Argos a gain of 4. Bell from the shotgun. Guns it for Mazzotti. Paul Mazzotti with a first down and then some down the 22-yard line. Orlando Steinauer makes the stop, and getting Paul Mazzotti involved has been a big problem for the Argos this year.
Well, the very underused and somewhat underrated Paul Mazzotti this year. Only 20 catches coming to this game, much lower than his normal total, but he does a nice job to get away from Steinhauer here and keep this Argo drive. And ever since their 4th possession of this game, they just haven't looked back. But, you know, it's interesting with Mazzotti. He had a real mid-season drought last year and, you know, still came back to get 1,000 yards. He's having a beginning drought, but I don't think there's, I think there's still a great possibility he can finish the year strong and get his 1,000.
All right, we've hit the 3-minute warning at Skydome in Toronto. Lots more to come on the CFL Live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to TSN Tonight. I'm Darren Detition. No story in all of baseball has captured our imagination quite like Mark McGwire, and as he continues to chase Roger Maris's record of 61 homers set way back in 1961. Big Mac hit 2 homers yesterday. Tonight he's playing a double dip against the New York Mets. In game number 1, McGwire goes yard. Number 50 for him. He's the first player in Major League history to hit 50 homers in 3 consecutive seasons. Game 2 has just begun. First inning of Game 2, McGwire does it again. This time it is number 51 as the Cards now lead it by a count of 1-0. Quite a sensational day for Mark McGwire. As for Sammy Sosa, he remains with 48 homers. He had a bad day at the office. He went 0 for 5 with 3 Ks. Ken Griffey Jr. and the Toronto Blue Jays will go head-to-head tonight. That game here on TSN at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Let's get you back to Skydome in the CFL.
All right, Darren, the Mark McGwire watch continues. 2 home runs at Shea Stadium today.
You know, you really know your sports. I mean, is there a tougher record to break than maybe Maris's record? I mean, in all sports.
92 goals by Wayne Gretzky is the only one that comes to mind.
Yeah. I mean, it's phenomenal. He's got a shot now.
It's unimaginable. Roger Maris was so hot in August of 1961 that most people felt that anyone who was even close at the beginning of August would have to have an amazing month like we haven't seen in 20 years in the major leagues, and Mark McGwire's doing.
He's got a great chance now. 2 yesterday, 2 today.
Could break the record against the Expos, who close out the season against the Cardinals.
I don't think he cares who he does it against.
That's all they need. Run into Mark McGwire at the end of the season. Here at Skydome, where they play a little baseball every now and then. 3:05 to go in the first half, and the Argos have a first down at the Hamilton 21-yard line. McGwire, check that. Bell gives it off to Mike Clemens. The pinball gets down to the 20-yard line. I've now inserted Mark McGwire into the Argo lineup.
One of the things that Hamilton's done is a couple of times that they fake Jeff Cummins on the rush. He comes back in coverage, and watch how he reads the screen of Mike Clemens. It's a little different look for Bell to see. The defensive tackle actually turns into a linebacker. He fights through the block and stops the screenplay, but that's the second time they've run that defensive scheme where Jeff Cummins fakes like he's going to pass rush, drops into coverage, and this time he had success by making the play. Wow. Is that some statistic?
Almost a 200-yard advantage for Kerwin Bell as the Florida State-Florida matchup is renewed. On second down now, Bell wants more. Flag comes down, and so does Bell. Back to the 35-yard line, and look who got him, Joe Monfort again. Holding will be the call against Toronto. The Argos almost certainly will decline this penalty.
Well, again, here's Monfort, and again, they drop off like this, so it's the same look. Toronto's seen it twice, but Monfort just, again, he's eating up Dwayne Morgan tonight. Morgan had to hold him, still couldn't keep him, and Monfort with his second sack of the first half.
Third sack of the game for Joe Monfort, and it'll bring Eric Vigos in the field goal unit on again.
Well, you saw Dwayne Morgan leaving the field. He was, of course, a Hamilton Tiger Cat, as we said, a year ago, and don't think Monfort didn't get to work on him every day in practice and really know his strengths and weaknesses, and he's found the weakness tonight. It's that Morgan's not as fast as he is.
Vigos from the 42-yard line. Good again. Make it 6 for 6. 19-3, Toronto leads, and Eric Vigos is perfect in the field goal department tonight. 4 for 4 on the night. Well, maybe one day number 5 will be up there with the retired numbers. That's good to the guy. Second game in the league, put the Hall of Fame yoke around his neck. Well, reminder, there's the number to call if you're looking to go to a game in the Toronto area. And a lot of Hamilton fans called that number this week, and they're not too happy right now. A 16-point Toronto lead. McManus in the shotgun. Has Darren Flutie, who's got a first down up to the 48-yard line. Mike O'Shea makes the stop.
And since Toronto got this 16-point lead, they've become much more conservative on defense. They were playing a lot of aggressive man-to-man, in-your-face style coverage, and now when they have 16-point lead, a lot more zone coverage, and Darren Flutie equally adept at getting open in both, and he's found the hole a couple of times now in the second quarter, and only the second first down for the Ticats. Can you believe it?
And a perplexed-looking Ron Lancaster views the proceedings. McManus now over the top. He goes for Flutie, all tied up and intercepted. Picked off by Donald Smith. And Smith now moving close to midfield, gets up there before Mike Morreale makes the stop. Danny McManus throws into tight coverage and pays the price again. Donald Smith with his first interception of the year, Lee.
And Gord, you saw only 2 first downs for Hamilton. They've been running the right plays. There have been people open. Danny McManus has had just a tough night. If that ball had been delivered a little sooner, Darren Flutie may have had a chance to make the play, but it hung up there forever. Donald Smith makes a great play to leave his man come over the top and get the interception, as Gord mentioned, his first. But the difference in this game tonight is Kerwin Bell is having a great first half, and unfortunately, Danny McManus is having a miserable first half.
Talked about it up the top of the show. The difference between 2-16 and 6-1. Danny McManus being hot. Oh, Joe Montfort unloads on Kerwin Bell, and it almost leads to an interception by Derek Greer, but another hard shot taken by Kerwin Bell, who's been wearing Joe Montfort tonight.
Well, now, I know Joe Montfort is fast, and again, here's Montfort, but watch Dwayne Morgan right here. I mean, he doesn't move. The ball is snapped. Watch, let it go. I mean, there's Dwayne. He says, what happened? He's still sitting there waiting, and unfortunately for Kerwin Bell, he pays the price.
Kerwin Bell says, I'm 33 years old, man. I don't need hungry 28-year-olds hunting my head.
Dwayne is having a tough first half.
Yeah, Highway 62 tonight. They shovel it off to Darryl Mitchell, who doesn't get much. Football players call it taking your ticket. When a guy goes by you like a patron going to a movie, take your ticket, sir, and that's what's been happening to Dwayne Morgan tonight.
We call it the Olay block.
Yeah.
You know, they
ever throw one of those?
Shy through a... no, because I didn't throw a block.
Didn't block anybody.
I didn't even try to do an Olay.
You know, you wonder, they always talk about working on guys in practice. Do you think that Joe Montfort knows that much about Dwayne Morgan?
He knows, I'll guarantee you, he knows that he can beat Dwayne Morgan. He just knows from practicing against him. I know what I can do against this guy. I can beat him with my quickness, as he has a lot of tackles throughout the league. But unfortunately for Dwayne Morgan tonight, he is just getting picked on royally.
Minute and a half to go now in the opening half, and Noel Prefontaine bobbles the snap, and now gets a very good kick away. A booming punt on the run. Wow, you talk about the Argo bounce. Noel Prefontaine unloads a massive punt 70 yards after he bobbled the snap. Amazing. Look at that. He should punt like this all the time.
Well, I mean, we've seen some very athletic plays tonight, and boy, Prefontaine makes that look pretty easy, doesn't he? Nothing to it.
Punting from the rollout, something you don't see every day. And the rookie out of San Diego State uncorks a 70-yard single to make it 20-3 Toronto.
Well, Mike Vanderjack, when he kicked for Toronto, always told me that kickers are athletes. And once again, a kicker proves it.
Ronald Williams takes the handoff, loses the football, and is fortunate to get it back. And what a huge blow that could have been to the Ticats with 1:12 to go in the first half. They'll just try to escape with their lives from the opening 2 quarters.
Very fortunate the ball just bounces straight up. Good hit up front by the Argonauts. And Ronnie Williams, who really has not touched the football at all in this first half, he's their big running back. He's the one that carries the load most of the time.
McManus from the shotgun. Facing just a 3-man rush, fires high again. Darren Flutie makes the catch and has a first down up to the 47-yard line.
Well, they've got time, 56 seconds to go, and Danny McManus terrific at the hurry-up offense, and that's exactly what he's going to do to try and save a few precious seconds. There was the best I ever played with Ron Lancaster at the 2-minute drill. But Danny McManus has a chance to try and salvage something here late in the second quarter.
McManus going to the other side to Mike Morreale. Great catch by Mike Morreale down to the 44-yard line. The Hamilton native Mike Morreale, who's already got a career high for receiving yards after 7 weeks.
Well, this is his 28th catch of the year. He's really blossomed finally, and you know you're going to take the hit. You know you've got to stay in bounds, and you have to be impressed with the concentration he was able to perform with there to make that catch and keep this drive going.
One of 5 Hamilton natives who plays for the Ticats. McManus from the shotgun. Again to the sideline. This time to Bobby Olive, who will quickly step out of bounds in a very Lancaster-esque drive.
You know, Gord, regardless of whether they get a touchdown or 3 points out of this, they have moved the football. They put some first downs together, so they're going to be able to go in at halftime and say, hey, listen, you know, we're only down by 17 if that's the case or less, but we finally started moving the football, and this is a very, very important series for this Ticat offense because up until now they've been horrible.
43 seconds to go. The give goes to Ronald Williams. Williams fighting his way down to the 30-yard line. And the first down for Hamilton.
Yeah, now the trick for Danny McManus, as he will do, is get everybody up, get everybody ready, and let's not lose any time off the clock. In fact, I'm surprised they huddled up there because now the clock was at 39. It's moving down 33-32. They've lost about 10 precious seconds.
Here comes the blitz. McManus steps in, looking for Morreale. It's behind him and almost intercepted. Donald Smith almost had his second of the game as Mike Morreale and Danny McManus miscommunicated.
Well, sometimes as a young receiver, you just don't have the experience to know. Danny McManus sees it. He's cleared the zone right now. Boom, that ball's got to be delivered. Morreale didn't read the same thing as McManus does, and, you know, they're very lucky that wasn't picked off.
Brings up second down now for the Ticats at the 31-yard line. 24 seconds to go in this opening half.
Yeah, this is a huge play for Hamilton. I mean, they really would like to go in and make it 20-10 and not just have to settle for field goal.
McManus under pressure. Throws it up top and way over the head of Bobby Olive. That ball wound up in the seats at Skydome. And Paulus Ballison will have to come on to try a field goal. So Lancaster sees ball movement, but now he sees the field goal unit on the field. And he does not look happy.
Well, again, he wanted the touchdown. I mean, 20-10 is a lot better than 20-6. And Paulus Baldisson, what a terrific season he has. Look at that. That's, you know, almost over 85%.
This try from the 37.5-yard line. Osbaldiston puts it up and good. He's done his bit. But it's the only scoring the Ticats have in the game with 14 seconds to go in the first half. Toronto with a 14-point lead on Hamilton.
Well, you know, Gord, as well as Hamilton's played the last couple of weeks offensively in their back-to-back wins against Edmonton, I mean, this isn't all bad, 20-6. I mean, you've had a absolutely horrific first half. Nothing has gone right. Toronto shot the lights out offensively themselves, so Danny McManus has played long enough. He's a complacent enough quarterback that he's not going to be rattled by this.
You make the interesting point. If there's one quarterback in the league who would not be rattled by a poor performance in the first half, it's him.
Well, without question, and he's got a coach that was the same way when he played. Ronnie Lancaster could have thrown 5 interceptions in the first half, and his attitude would have been, hey, I'm going to come out and throw 5 touchdowns in the second half, and that's no different than Danny McManus's attitude.
Argos will just simply kill the clock here in this opening half. Worth pointing out that we've talked about it before. Danny McManus has thrown 2 interceptions in the first half of this game. His coach, Ron Lancaster, threw 394 in his career.
He said, I got it to throw touchdowns. I'm going to have a few interceptions. I'm not going to let that worry me. And
now he can go back to the locker room at halftime and see about ending his team's losing streak against the Argos, which is 6 straight games. At the half, the Argos with a 20-6 lead on Hamilton as the rivalry has been intense and then some, with a second half still to come.
You're watching CFL Live. We're at the half. Here's your host, James Duthie.
All right, welcome back. Well, the most dominant team in the CFL so far this season has been dominated in the first half. 20-6 is the score. I tell you what, just 4 words on Eric Bigos. Bad mask, great leg. And this guy was cut by the Alouettes in favor of Terry Baker in training camp. What a great find, Eric Tillman, for the Argos.
Well, James, Don Matthews admits being wrong about as often as we see Haley's comment, but credit him for doing so in this situation. He listened to his scouting director, Nick Volpe, who recommended Bigos, and the kid from Waterloo's just doing a terrific job, Chris.
He's doing a terrific job, and the Argonauts are doing a terrific job of using the deep pattern effectively. Defensive halfbacks, safeties, and inside safeties are very psychologically conditioned to never get beat deep. They hear it at Pee Wee football, high school football, and college football. When you complete one or two, they tend to turn their hips, and that opens up those crossing routes and those inside seams. I really think John Jenkins has to stay aggressive in his play calling, keep testing the deep routes to open up the intermediate routes. Great first half by the Argonauts.
All right, and of course, Chris Schultz has played in a lot of these Argos Ticats game, and another guy on our crew has as well. He's been involved in a lot of them. Unfortunately, tonight is his last. When we come back, we will salute Leif Pettersson.
The quarterback is still inbounds and going for more yards. He is fair game. Boy, that, you know, I mean, this isn't a pillow fight out there.
Come on, Leif.
We, the children, need the following. We need encouragement. We need to laugh. We need inspiration. We need to be read to. We need to have self-esteem, love and security, adventure, discipline and freedom. We need to make mistakes, ask questions, to imagine. We need to win, and sometimes we need to lose. We need to be hugged. We need family, friends, and even